Hello, testing, testing. Hello, testing, testing. Hello, testing, testing. Hello, testing, testing. Can y'all hear me? Just give me a minute. Hello, testing, testing. You can hear me? Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for the delay there. I was having a bit of trouble getting the stream working. We are here for the 60 circuit circling Alsace. We've just begun qualifying. We have, I think, 13 or 14 drivers lined up. We've had to combine the two lobbies. We were running a red and a black lobby, but we've had to combine them due to a few people not turning up. So, which I guess is good. It means everyone gets to get a stream. So we are now currently on board with our lobby host Clan Fever as the qualifying begins. They have 10 minutes to put in a decent lap time. They've got fuel turned off for this, but tyre wear is turned on. So I can imagine that this first lap will be simply getting the tyres warmed up, taking it nice and easy, not trying to do anything sort of silly to ruin your lap, because a lap around here is going to take just under 2 minutes, so they're probably going to have 4 or 5 laps to get a good quali in. So just to run you through the field who we have here, just going off in the order that they're currently in at the moment. We have Rugworth, who raced with us in the GTR series in the black lobby, who placed quite high. We have Clan Fever, our lobby host for today. He stepped up to do hosting duties. We have Lordy, who is a newcomer to our Gridline series that we run, but a fairly quick driver. We have the bronze medalist from our GTR series, Ando 787. Another newcomer, we have Darth Berserk. We have Old Timer, who has raced with us before. He did a few rounds of the GTR series. We have Upshift, who is a Gridline racing driver along with Ando. He's been focusing more on a couple of other games at the moment, so he hasn't been on it much. We have Benjo in the GT40, which is a nice change, seeing as everyone else seems to be in Porsches at the moment, because they seem to be the car of choice. We have back to Rugworth. We have Ryoff in a very nice faded blue to white Porsche. And then we have Renegade going off the track into the wall. Another Gridline driver who's had some pretty consistent finishes in both FIA and in league racing, in the GT40 as well. So I believe Renegade is on his out lap. I believe everyone else is on their first qualifying, as we see Clan Fever run just a little bit wide there. So just to take you through the format for today, this is a one race event. It is 60 laps around here. We're going to be looking at around 2 hours worth of racing. We have the tyres are set to ×4 wear, and the fuel consumption is set to ×3. So on a set of soft tyres, we should be looking at around 10 to 14 laps, depending on how well you can look after them. So we're looking at 3, 4, maybe even 5 pit stops around here today. As they come through the final chicane here, Clan Fever will be the first to post a time. He sets a 1:52, Adam goes 1:50.9, Ando goes 1:50.9. Very close between the top two. 0.022 between them. So will Ando go again to try and get pole position? Got a few people pulling into the pits to change their tyres, put a fresh set on. Ando's going the hards for some reason. 4, 5, 6. So we're getting some very close times between the cars here. So Adam's out in the lead. He looks like he's in the Peugeot VGT, I believe that is. No, the Volkswagen VGT. Little open top car. So that'll be interesting to see how that stacks up against the Porsches and the GT40s. So we'll have to... I'm still trying to work my buttons out here. It's been a while since I've done this. So I'm just pushing buttons at the moment, just trying to see what they do. So we might... So I can use that to change my view. I think I can also use my controller to change the view as well. Oops. So Aussie does a 152.2. So where does that put Aussie? Puts him in 9th spot. Oh, Adam gets a little bit taily coming out of the first turn. Lando comes across the line. Benjo pulls a 157. So obviously there are some differences between the ranks of these drivers. Some guys are ranked higher than others in terms of their DR and SR. So the whole point of us running the two lobbies was so that we would have people grouped accordingly. But due to the low numbers in the other lobby, we've just decided to combine the two. Because there's really no point running 60 laps around here if there's only going to be 3 or 4 of you in the lobby, you know. That's really not going to be fun for anyone. So Adam's pulled off to the side. He's bailed out of his lap. Whether he made a little mistake or not, I don't know. But for whatever reason, he's decided to pull out. Benjo looks like he's having a bit of trouble there. So we may end up having to red flag the session. We'll have to wait and see. Zando comes across the line. Still on the hard tyre. He's back in the pits now, so I reckon he'll probably just stay there because he won't get his outlap finished by the time he has to cross the finish line. So we've got a few of them now pulling into the pits. Clan Fever sets a 151.7, so that moves him up into 4th spot. Looks like Benjo's having some trouble getting off the lobby screen. So we may end up having to red flag this to allow him back in, and then we'll probably have to set the grid manually. Old Timer's set a 151.8. That moves him into 7th. So, barring what anyone else does, it looks like our grid will have Adam on pole. Ando will be in 2nd, 0.022 seconds behind. Ryoff will be in 3rd. Clan Fever will be in 4th. Does he improve on his time? No, he doesn't. That's the end of his run. Slappers will be in 5th. Lordy will be in 6th. Old Timer in 7th. Rugworth in 8th. Aussie in 9th. Darth in 10th. Upshift in 11th. And Benjo in 12th. Not sure what happened to Renegade. Did he... Where's Renegade? Renegade must have left the lobby somehow. So obviously a few drivers have elected to start on the hard compound of tyre. We have all 3 compounds available for today's race. There's no limit on the amount of pit stops you can make. You can make as many as you want, but you must use the hard tyre for at least 1 racing lap. So you can't pull into the pits on the final lap, change them on, and then cross the finish line in the pits. That won't be counted. And if you fail to use the hard compound of tyre, then you will be relegated to last place. So here's hoping that everyone will use it. So we're just waiting for this final 30 seconds to count down. I reckon they're going to have to red flag it, allow Benjo back into the lobby, and then manually set the grid. Which is easy enough to do. It just takes a bit of mucking around to get it done. So that's it. The qualifier has ended. So even though it says race, I reckon everyone will quit out. So we'll just wait and see. Yep, everyone's Xing out, which is good. So some people will probably just do a quick practice start, and just to practice getting off the line. And there we have it. So I imagine there will be a little five-minute break or something, or a couple of minutes. The joys of esports when you have connection issues or the game glitches, or something like this happens. So everyone's just ticking back in. Good thing with Clan Fever, he runs his own league. They run on Tuesdays and Friday nights, I believe, so he's very experienced in lobby setting and knows exactly what to do to get the job done. So we are very thankful that Clan was available to host for today. So yeah, big shout out to Clan for hosting. So, setting the grid order. So we'll just wait for that to happen, and then we can get underway. So yeah, unfortunately we are running a bit behind schedule, but you know, it wouldn't be an online race if you weren't running a bit behind schedule. So it looks like the grid has been set. We've just got confirmation. 30 seconds till race start. Now the next trick is to make sure everyone gets off the grid, because sometimes the game can glitch and certain people get stuck on the grid. So everyone takes off and you're just left sitting there going, what the actual? So these guys are all in their own group chat, so as well as being able to type the messages out, they'll be relaying all these messages verbally and what they're doing. Alright, here we go again. Take two. I better go into spectate. And let's jump on board. Let's jump on board with Adam for the start. So as we get ready, you'll hear the revs rise. One red, two red, three red, four red, five red, and we are go. And a good start there by Adam. Looks like everyone got off the grid, keeping it clean down into turn one. Back through the field, we haven't had any major offs, I don't think. So Adams has pulled nearly a second lead already, but don't forget he is on the soft compound of tyre. As we see Clan make a move on on Ando, a bit further back. Ando is on the hard compound of tyre, so he is going to be a bit slower than the rest of the field, than everyone else who's on the soft compound of tyre. We're still running reasonably well. Oh, upshifter's got some damage. I wonder if we can see what happened there. Do we get to... hang on, never mind. Hit the wrong button. Yeah, I missed what happened there. Unfortunately, he must have just bumped the wall or something, but they have damages set. The damage is set to light, so it does self-repair after about 30 seconds, I believe. So we still have Atom in the lead. The gap is coming down, though, to Clan Fever in second. We have Rugworth making a move on Ando. Are they going to stay side by side? Tries for the switchback. Puts him on the outside. Does he hold it? Gets a little bit slidey, but he manages to hold it together. We see Adam, we see Ando, and we see... Who's that? We've got Ando, Slappers, and Oz... There. Start that again. We've got Ando, we've got Slappers, we've got Aussie, and we have Ryoff in the pits, all getting off that hard compound of tyre. So they've obviously got their own strategy in play here. Just do one lap on the hards, and then run the softs for as long as they can. We've got Aussie all over the back of Ryoff here. We've got Benjo, we've got Upshift. think Upshift's just doing his own thing, just racing at his own pace, because he hasn't played this game much, as he's been focusing on other games. But he did want to have a race today, so you know. So Adam has pulled a bit of a lead over Clan. Then we've got Rugworth, we've got Lordy, we've got Old Timer, we have Darth Berserk, we have Ando closing in the back of Darth. Is he going to be able to make a move? Makes a move up the inside. Darth gives him space, and Ando goes through quite comfortably. There's no point trying to make heroic moves here on the first couple of laps, because this is a long race. So Darth is also on the hard compound of tyre. I didn't realise that. So yeah, he's naturally going to be slower anyway. So we've got Slappers in the McLaren F1. Ryoff. So Darth pulls into the pits now to get his hard tyres off, get his soft tyres on. Then you've got Upshift, then you've got Benjo. So Upshift has been able to get past Benjo. Adam's still opening up that gap to Clan. I think Clan might be pushing a bit to try and catch up. He has a bit more tyre wear on his tyres than what Adam has. See some little sparks coming out around this bank turn from under the cars. It's always a pretty cool sight to see. You got Lordy catching up to the back of Rugworth. So what are they? Yeah, they've pretty much got the same amount of tyre wear. Got Old Timer, who's a little bit behind Lordy, but he seems to be... No, I thought he was catching up, but apparently not. Got Ando. This is one of my favourite sections of this track, is coming down through this chicane, this final chicane here. Just the way it drops away and the car moves around, and you get so close to that pit wall. It's a very fine line to get right. We've got Slappers in the McLaren F1. Slappers hosts a bragging rights night on Friday night, series of short races. You get 5 points for a win, 4 points for second, 3 points for third. You get a bonus point for faster slap as well, and the first person to 30 points wins the bragging rights. They're always really good fun. You get to drive a wide variety of cars. Usually they're max power, minimum weight, but they do change them up a bit. And Upshift has left the room, so unfortunately he'll be classed as a DNF. That did not finish, as they have to complete at least 42 laps to be classed as a finisher. So whether he was disconnected or whether he just decided that it wasn't for him, I'm not sure. Oh, we've got a yellow flag up ahead here. Someone's gone off, and that is Rugworth. I'll see if I can get this right this time. Let's see if we can get a replay of that. I think I've come back a bit too far, but we'll see what happens here. So he was all over the back of Ando. Goes around the outside. Do we see what happens here? Comes into the brake. Yeah, I missed that. Don't know what happened there. Still trying to get used to these buttons. So we've got slappers closing in on the back of Rugworth. I think he's just within slip range. I think the slip is good to about 0.9 of a second. Ando's moved up into 5th, trying to hunt down Old Timer. You've got Lordy in 3rd place, Clan's still in 2nd. Adam's pulling quite a nice lead out the front. And a very nice looking VW. I like that paint job on that car. That looks quite smick. And you've got Clan Fever. I think he's in his Oceanic Crew livery. Yep. We've got a nice looking livery here on Lordy's Porsche. Sort of reminds me of I think it's the old GT40. Old Timer and his Jim Beam. Jim Beam livery. Then you've got Ando and his Gridline Racing livery with his flying kangaroo on the back window there. Rugworth in his TKR, little slidey through that turn there, but he's managed to hold it together. Slappers, I'm not sure what that livery is, but it looks pretty cool. You've got Ryoff in a white to blue livery. There's a nice fade there, looks good. Aussie, I think he's done his own version of a Gridline Racing livery for today's event, which looks pretty cool. Where is he? Oh, big slide there from Darth. That's not going to do anything for his tyres. He manages to hold it together. Got Renegade in the GT40. And Benjo in the GT40, both in Gridline Racing liveries. So Adam now has just on 6 seconds over Clan. And Ando currently has the fastest lap with a 151.7, so he's seriously on the move. I think Clan's going to be feeling his tyres here in a minute. They're starting to look a bit worn. They're going to start dropping away. He's going to have to start braking earlier and turning in earlier. So Lordy has a look up the inside. Oops, wrong way. Yeah, so Lordy's got more life in his tyres, so he's got more grip available. So he can brake later, turn in harder. So he is all over the back of Clan. Oh, Clan gets a little bit taily coming out of that turn there. And that'll be because his tyres are going, just doesn't have the grip available to him anymore, so he's got to be really careful, especially being in a mid-engine car. They can get rather taily. It's coming into the big bank turn. It's a hard turn to get right, this one. You've got to sort of rely more on your throttle to turn the car rather than the steering. So we now have a bit of a train forming up here behind Clan with Lordy and Oldtimer, and it looks like Ando's trying to get in on the action as well. So while these guys are squabbling, that allows Ando to catch up. So Adam is now out to a 7.5 second lead. He's just driving off into the distance. Is Lordy going to make a move? He's having a look. Is he pulling up? He's going to pull up alongside. He's going to be on the outside here for a slight right-hander. But if he can stay there, he'll be in good stead to... Pardon me, as he makes a good move up the inside and takes that position away from Clan. So now Clan is at risk of Oldtimer, but he looks like he has a bit of a look. Oh, he's gone down. Oldtimer's gotten in front of him. Now Ando's having a crack. He's saying, I want a piece of this action. So they go around this big bank turn again. Contact between the two of them. But Ando gets the job done. So in just a couple of corners, Clan's gone from 2nd down to 5th. And his tyres are going to be really, really hurting him now. So I think we might see him in for a stop shortly. If not this lap, most likely the next lap. And it looks like Benjo's gone into the wall. He's just pulled off to let the other cars through before rejoining. Yep, so Clan Fever's now into the pits. Get those tyres off, get some fresh ones on. He's stayed with the softs. So he's elected not to run the hards just yet. He'll obviously have his own strategy in play. He'll know when he wants to run them, when he thinks it'll be best for him. So Ando has moved up into 2nd spot. He's got Oldtimer on the back of him, and then Lordy right behind Oldtimer. So we should see a good battle between these guys as long as they can keep it clean and so I reckon some of these guys will be due into the pits shortly. Pardon me. So what we might do now is jump on board for a lap with Adam so you can see just what it takes to drive these cars around here. And there we have a lap around here. I just want to stay with him for now and just point a few things out. So the first thing you'll notice that he's short shifting the car. That's a good way to save on fuel. But for some cars, it can also be the way to get the most amount of power out of the car. Cars like the Corvette and I think the Supra as well, and maybe the FT1, you get the maximum amount of power out of short shifting instead of letting it rev all the way out. We'll just wait till we get up to the heavy braking zone up here, because I just want to point something out as well. You'll notice that I don't think he goes to 100% brake. Oh yeah, but he's very quick to get off it. Sort of doesn't really allow the ABS to kick in, because that is what can give you, well, that can cause tyre wear when you've got your brakes coming off, going on, coming off, going on, coming off, going on. So you can actually really preserve the life of your tyres if you only go to about 80 or 90% throttle, not throttle, brake. But as we come round here into this, you need to have a little dab of the brakes here, followed by a little bit harder. Let the car roll around. You don't really want to try and get all the way out to the curb on that corner there. Get a nice turn in for that corner. Just let the car roll through before getting on the power. Then coming down into this last one, on the brakes, turn it in, let it roll, and then away we go again, and he's pulling into the pits. So Ando will pass him here in a minute. Put some fuel in the car while he's at it. So he's put in just enough fuel just to get him out to just to see him through to his next pit stop. So he comes out in 4th place in between Clan Fever and Old Timer. So he's got a new set of softs on the car, so his car's going to be quite quick now. I think we'll see Lordy in a lap, or maybe this lap, because he's got a fair amount of wear on his tyres now, and he'll just be losing time to Ando. But we might see Ando in shortly as well, because he pitted at the end of lap 1. They're on lap 12. So the field's starting to spread out a little bit now as different strategies come into play. Looks like we've got a good battle here between Slappers and Aussie. These two are really good mates in real life. I believe they may even work together. And they're always... Aussie's always there for Slappers' bragging rights on a Friday night. So if you want to get involved with them, they're always really good fun. Good banter. So yeah, that happens on a Friday night. If you just send Slappers a friend request or a message, I'm sure he'll be able to get you involved with it. It's just nothing too serious. So Lordy's into the pits as his Old Timer. So the Old Timer was able to save a bit more fuel than... where are we? Lordy's come out. He's on the hard tyres now. So whether he's going to run that for just this lap or a few more, we'll have to wait and see. He's now got Ryoff up alongside him. Ryoff backs out of making a pass, decides against it. You'll have to pardon me, my allergies are playing up at the moment, so as always, good fun. So we've still got Ando in the lead. He's and still with the fastest lap of a 1 minute 51.7. So Aussies and Slappers are still neck and neck with each other. Well, I reckon they're both going to be into the pits shortly, as their tyres are going to be really hurting them right about now. They're going to be struggling to pull the car up and getting them turned in. They'll have their strategies in play, what they want to do. So come down into the final chicane. We're going to see them pull off into the pits. Lordy's into the pits. Nope, they're going around again. So Lordy's just doing a one lapper on the hards, get it out of the way, get it done. Because around a circuit like this, I believe obviously your softs are going to be your fastest. I think your mediums are going to be about a second slower, and then your softs are going to be a second slower again. And because your hards are going to be 2 seconds slower than the softs, they're only going to get slower and slower as they wear. So even though they have a long lifespan, it's just not worth staying out there because you just lose so much time. Within 10 laps, you're going to be 20 seconds down. So Benjo has left the race. I'm not sure if he's been disconnected or whether he's just decided he's had enough. So he will be another DNF. We've got Renegade just driving along, doing his own thing. He must have only just pitted because he hasn't got he's got next to no wear on his tyres. Nando's going around again, so this will be his 14th lap on these tyres. Adam's closing the gap down to him because he seems to have more life in his tyres. Clan Fever's coming up behind him. Right off, we're starting to get some gaps between them now. These two are still together, Slappers and Aussie. I think Slappers is going to have to come in this lap because he's got next to no fuel left in his car. I'm not sure if he'll get another lap out of it or not. Pardon me. So is Aussie going to try and get in front of him, or I don't think he will. I think he might just sit behind him, just try and save a bit of fuel. They've got almost identical tyre wear between the two of them. But Aussie has a lot more fuel left in his tank, so that's going to bode well for him when they pull into the pits. As Aussie goes around the outside, but he's up high, taking the long way around. He manages to get it done. I think Slappers might have just let him go then. Got Old Timer. He must have pitted recently too, because he's got so Ando's into the pits, getting some fuel. He's got fresh tyres on his car. Aussie's in. Slappers is in. Ando's now exited the pits. The Slappers, geez, he was running on fumes then. So it looks like Aussie's out. And there goes Slappers. So yeah, you can see the gap there between them now due to that fuel difference. Which is why it always pays to save fuel where you can, because if you can cut down your pit stop even just by half a second or so, it can make a hell of a difference. We've got Lordy out here sort of in no man's land, putting in some good lap times. High 51s to sort of low 52s I think are where they are at the moment for good lap times. Clan's into the pits at the moment. New set of boots and some fuel. So he was right down. Ryoff's into the pits as well. Did you hear the cars go past? It's still only a relatively short pit stop around here, considering that they updated them a little while back. In some circuits you can lose 30-40 seconds just waiting for your car to get to the pit bay. And it still seems relatively short for this circuit, which I suppose is a good thing. So we have Ryoff on his out lap. So he'll just be getting back into his rhythm again. Putting his head down. He's only just on 3 seconds behind Rugworth. And closing that gap. And Ando's moved up into second. So he's 19 seconds down on Adam. Adam still owes the hard tyre though, for at least one lap. You can see just on the right of screen there, Ando's lap times. You can see 9:10 was in the 52s, 11:12 was 11:12:13 was where his tyres were starting to hurt him. Lap 14 was where they really dropped off, and then lap 15 was when he decided to get into the pits, get some fresh boots on. Oh, and he's up by 0.004 on the fastest lap. So we'll stick with him, see if he can break it. So he's nice and smooth, which is what you want to be on these races to preserve your tyres. You don't sort of want to be jerking the steering wheel, because it's just going to put unnecessary wear on your tyres. You're going to scrub speed off. He's down by 0.1. Can he make up a bit of time through this final sector here? So he just has a lift through there just to get the car turned in. Lets it sort of float over that inside curb, gets on the power again, sets you up for this run down to here. Nice and smooth. The interesting thing about Ando is that he not only uses the chase cam, which is this camera, he's also a right foot braker. So as he comes into the corner, if you watch his accelerator on the bottom right of screen there, that white bar, see it lift off, and then there's a little gap between the brake coming on, and then there's a little gap before he gets back on the power again. That's him moving his foot, his right foot, from the accelerator to the brake and back again. Whereas most other people, like myself and I think most other people in here, they are left foot brakers, so you can go straight from accelerating to braking and then back again. But it's what works for him, so if I could be that quick, I would be very happy. So he's up by 1.5 tenths at sector 1 on the fastest lap. You can see here he's just modulating the accelerator just to get the car turned where he wants it to go. And he's up by 0.04, so he's lost a little bit of time through that sector. Gets on the power, doesn't take it all the way out to the curb. Just feathers the throttle through there, gets it nice through there. So you'll brake just before this arch here. Down through the gears, gets it turned in, just lets the car roll. Gets so close to that wall, you just want to get close. Oh, he only just misses out. But it shows he's got some pace. He seems to be catching on Adam. So we're now just about a third of the way through the race. So yeah, I think we're almost on track for a 2-hour race here. We're nearly at the 40-minute mark. Again, Adam nice and smooth. No sort of jerky sort of movements. You can see that the time between him and Ando's slowly coming, sort of fluctuating, sort of up and down, so they're keeping a decent pace. They'd be on very similar paces to each other. Oh, Adam runs wide and kisses the wall. Does he hold it? Oh, he holds it together, but that's going to cost him. Alright, let's see if I can't get another replay. No, I've got to work these buttons out. I really need to work these buttons out in order to do replays. So I might do a quick Google search just while I'm here waiting. So you see he's lost a good couple of seconds now to Ando for that little incident there. He just got a little bit wide. So yeah, I'm just doing a bit, because I can't quite remember which buttons I need to press to get a short replay. GT Sport replay controls. Right, so Z sets a replay marker. X starts a replay 8 seconds before you press Z. C starts a replay 13 seconds before you press Z. And V starts a replay 18 seconds before you press Z. Right. Cool, good to know. Probably should have googled this last night and tested it all out before I jumped in here. But anyway, it's all good fun. Oh, he's tipped the wall again. That's going to cost him. You'll see the time between. You see Ando when he comes through that section, the time will drop right down. See it dropping. So yeah, he's lost a good chunk of time there. So now he's pulling into the pits. He's decided that these tyres are now no good. Can't keep pushing with them on. As Ando goes past him, puts some more fuel in. He'll put just enough to get him through to the next stop. Oh, this is going to be close between him and Old Timer. Can Old Timer go around the outside? Not quite close enough. So Ando inherits the race lead. Seem to have lost our fastest lap. I don't know where that went. Seem nice and smooth, using all the curb on exit there. There's some corners here where you can, some corners where you can't. There's a couple of corners here. If you try to use all the curb on exit, it can actually unsettle the car. The ground's a bit bumpy. If you forget that it's bumpy and you throw the car out there and come flying out, you think, yeah, that was a good exit, and next thing you know, your car's bumping through the air everywhere, and all that time that you've just saved, you've just lost. It's a very funny sort of circuit. Like, it sort of goes against everything you know as a driver. And I think there's a couple of corners here. I think turn 1, 2, 3, and I think maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. I think turn 5 as well. You got to be careful getting out on there. Otherwise, if you get out onto the curb, it'll actually straighten the car up on you and can throw you into a wall. So Ando's putting some nice time there on Old Timer. You know, something must have happened to Adam. He's dropped down to 3rd with some damage. Let's see if we can see what happened there. He already had the damage there. I think we've just missed that. That's alright. So we've got Clan in the pit, just exiting pits. He's got Ryoff and Aussie right behind him by the looks of it. So we're turning into a bit of a three-way battle here. As Ryoff looks around the outside, trying to find a way past. Aussie tries to go with him. Oh, Aussie goes out wide. Manages to hold it together, but that's going to drop him down a bit. He did well to hold that together. Now it's going to dirty his tyres for this next turn. They're going to brake just a little bit sooner. Try not to slide it. He's dropped back a little bit to Clan Ryoff now. I think his tyres, yeah, he's Just doesn't quite have the pace in his tyres anymore. As Lorden pulls into the pits to get some fresh boots on. We'll see Ryoff go through in a sec. Maybe not. It depends how much fuel he's going to put in. If he's going to fill it right up or take just enough to get him through to his next pit stop. So Ryoff made it through. Aussie's behind him. Rugworth. So Ando's still pulling a gap over Old Timer. I reckon Old Timer's going to have to pit this lap because he's got next to no fuel. And he might be able to get one more. I'm not quite sure what his fuel saving is like. I'll wait and see if he pulls into the pits or not. Yep, and he can go past in a sec. He had 4% fuel left. He was almost running it on fumes. So off he goes in third place. So now can Adam catch up to Ando? He's up by a tenth and a bit at the first sector. We'll see where he's at sector 2 as he comes around this big bank turn. He's down by 0.04, about half a tenth. So he's lost a bit of time through that sector there. Can he make up any time coming down through this sector? Oh, he smacks the wall there. That's not going to help him. That completely ruins his run down this straight here. He's now making up some time on Ando because Ando's probably going to be due for another pit shortly because he's starting to get some wear on his tyres. I reckon they'll just be starting to drop off now. You just start to notice the car might just starting to be getting a little bit slidey. Just doesn't quite want to pull up in the braking zone, so you've got to move your brake marker back a little bit each lap, just a little bit further, a little bit further. You can see the time gap coming down between Ando and Adam, so I think it's going to be a good battle between these two to the finish. So current rundown of where we're at. We're at lap 26. We're nearly at the halfway mark. We've got Ando leading. We've got ASR Atom in second place. We've got Old Timer in third place. We've got Lordy in fourth place. We've got Clan Fever in fifth place. We've got Ryoff 217 in sixth place. We've got Aussie Hypnotic in seventh place. We've got Slappers Mate in eighth place. We've got Rugworth in ninth place. And we have Darth Berserk in 10th place. So we've had 3 drivers drop out, I think, with Benjo, Upshift and Renegade. So they'll all be classed as did not finishers due to not completing the required number of laps, which is 70%, which is 42 laps. So I think Ando was down just by about a second there, which is going to be allowing Adam to catch up. Adam's up by 3/10. So will he claim the fastest lap? A little bit squirrely coming out of that turn. He gets it nicely through there. Does he set the fastest lap? Yes, he does. A 151.6 by just under a tenth. So will Ando be able to have a response to that? Probably not with his tyres in their current state, he won't. But who knows, once he gets some fresh boots on, he might have a lap or two where he might just go for it. So Lordy seems to be closing in on the back of Old Timer here, so we might watch these guys for a bit and see whether he catches up to him. And Lordy seems to have a bit more tyre wear than Old Timer. Just like Clan Fever might have just come in a bit hot there. See if we get a replay of that. No, not quite quick enough. It's alright. So we go back with Lordy. So Old Timer's managed to pull a bit more of a gap on him now. It's now out to 2.2 seconds. The gap between Adam and Ando is now down to under 10, so Adam is closing in. Oh, a little bit slidey. Still making up time though. What's happening in the rest of the field? So Clan's going to be due a pit anytime soon, within the next lap or two, I would imagine. Same with Ryoff. Same with Aussie. It's a wonder Aussie's keeping his car on the circuit at this point with how much wear he's got on those tyres. Same with Slappers. Rugworth's looking sort of in reasonable shape. Daft Berserk. He must have just recently done a stop. He seems to have a pretty full tank and just a little bit of wear on his tyres. So we'll see if Clan pulls into the pits here on this lap or not. I reckon he will. It's a nice drive out of there. Does he? No, he stays out for another lap. So he must have one more lap left in the tank. And she's a real fuel saver, this one. Clan's ghosted for some reason. Might have picked up a penalty there. I'm not sure. It is actually very hard to pick up a penalty around this circuit as he gets a bit slidey through that corner there, because there actually aren't many places here where you can cut the corner due to the barriers on either side of the racetrack there. So we did have a penalty burn zone, which was going to be on the front straight up against pit wall. But we decided to change that to just make it so as long as you burnt your penalty within a lap of receiving it, and it was done in a safe manner, then that was all good. As we see Ando into the pits, we'll see Adam go past him here in a minute. No, Adam's into the pits as well. Now this makes things interesting. What's Adam going to? Is he going to go to the hards or is he going to stay on his softs? Ando's got more fuel. He's got 6% more fuel. So there he goes. He's filled it right up. So Adam is still on the hard... is still on the soft compound. He's only 4 seconds now down on Ando. They've both got fresh boots. So this is going to be a good battle between these two if Adam can catch up to him. So Clan's in the pits at the moment. Now he's just leaving. He's still on softs. Aussie's in. I love watching these pit stop animations. Did he not fill his car up? Ah, Aussie, what are you doing, mate? I reckon he's either put the softs on by mistake instead of the hards, or he's hit the button too quickly and not filled the car up. So I reckon he had a lap's worth of fuel left, which he was going to use on the hard compound. But he's put the softs on, or his plan all along was to put the softs on, but he's just hit the wrong button and not filled his car up. So now he's going to have to make another stop. So we'll stick with Aussie and we'll see what happens. So he should have pretty good pace because his car's going to be as light as anything with next to no fuel in it and on soft tyres. But he's really only going to get one lap out of it and then he's going to have to pit again. So that's going to throw a spanner in the works for him. And round he goes. See if we get a replay of that. We should be able to just catch the tail end. I think he just got on the gas just a little bit early, and it just caused the back of the car to spin round on him. There he goes, back into the pits. 2% fuel left. So he's taking the softs off. He's put a fresh set of softs on, probably due to that spin. That would have put a fair amount of wear on them. So rather than try and carry on with them, just put a fresh set on, go again, get back into your routine. So what's gap now between 3.8 seconds. Very similar lap times between the two of them. So will Adam be able to catch up to him before their next stop? He currently holds the fastest lap of the race with a 1:51.6. So he's putting in some fast lap times, Ando. Like that was he's done 2:51s. Well, that may have been a pit stop. That one, oh no, can't be. Anyway, did the timing on this when you switch between drivers? How it doesn't seem to display correctly what their actual lap times are. So we're down to just under 3.5 seconds between the two of them. Got Old Timer in third. They're your podiums. We've got Ryoff in the pits. We've got a fresh set of boots. go. So he's filled his car right up to the top. We got Rugworth in. He was running on fumes. 0% left in the car. Slappers just gets around him. It's a weird pit exit, that, because it puts you right on the apex of turn 1. You'll be so careful when you come out that your car doesn't suddenly go solid just as someone's trying to get past you. So I think Slappers and Adam are the only 2 out of our 10 field who aren't in Porsches. So Adam's definitely bringing that gap down to Ando. He's down to just on 3 seconds now. If Ando made a bit of a mistake there, because that seemed to come right down that time then, so he's... come through here. No, we missed it. Anyway. Well, he couldn't have done, because he's up by 0.13 on his best. So Adam set a new fastest time with a 1:51.4. He's getting within sniffing distance now, Adam. You can see Ando up ahead. He'll have his sights focused on catching up to him. If he can get in front of him before he serves his hard tyre lap, it's going to really open it up for a good finish. Mind you, Ando does have more fuel and seems to have slightly better tyres than Adam. So I reckon Ando's probably in a tyre saving mode at the moment, so he's probably just taking it a little bit easier. Just trying to reduce the amount of tyre wear that he's getting. There's a huge difference between the amount of fuel, almost a quarter of a tank difference, which means that Adam, based on fuel alone, will have to pit well before Ando does. See the sparks coming out from under the car on that bank turn. So he's still doing very consistent lap times, Ando. But I reckon Adam might just be pushing a little bit to try and catch up to him. A little wiggle there from Ando. Yeah, you see that time coming down, so that would have ruined his whole run down to this next turn. He's a little bit slidey through there. You hear the tyres squealing a little bit. Who was that coming out of the pits? Rugworth by the looks of it. Nope. Darth Berserk. So old timers into the pits now. That nice looking Jim Beam livery, similar to the Jim Beam on the V8 supercars. quite nice. So Old Timer now has Lordy right on his tail. Is he going to look for a way past? Stick with these guys for a little bit. See what happens. He looks to the outside. Is he going to try and get the switch back? Not quite. I think Lordy just got a bit slidey coming into there then. Back of the car just wanted to slide a bit, so he's lost his run. See Old Timer starting to pull a bit of a gap on him now, so I think he's just out of draft. There aren't actually many places to draft around here where you can really catch up. I suppose you've got the front straight from turn 1 through to turn 2. Out of this hairpin. No, Lordy's well out of draft now. So what's the gap here? The gap here is still sitting around that 2-second mark. Good. I think like every circuit, some drivers will be strong in some parts, other drivers will be stronger in other parts. So it's just a matter of being able to capitalise on those moments. It's funny because a lot of people seem to think that as soon as you catch up to the car in front, you've got to get past them. I've got to get past them right now. But it's not always the case. You're better off just sitting behind them for a little while, finding out where they are, where their weakest part of the circuit is, and then trying to set them up for a run at that point on the next lap or the next lap. You don't always just have to immediately get past them and then get in front of them. Or you can just sit behind them, feign some passes, try and force them into making an error, make them, sort of look at you instead of at their braking point, and so the gap's still sitting around that 2-second mark. It's come out a little bit now to 2.3. As we're approaching the 2/3 completed mark. Clan's going to be due for a pit. Yep, hugging the wall. In he comes. Pulls up into his pit bay. In goes the fuel. Still at that 2.2 second mark. I think the gap has sort of stabilised between them now. I think Adam's going to have to pull in this lap. Get some fuel in. goes. Is he going to put the hards on, or is he going to stick with the softs? I think he's sticking with the soft. So now what sort of time can Adam make up to Ando before Ando has to pit again? So as it currently sits, we have Ando in first, we have Adam in second, we have Old Timer in third, Lordy in fourth, Ryoff in fifth, Clan Fever in sixth, just dropped my keyboard, Rugworth in seventh, Slappers in eighth, Aussie in ninth, and Darth Berserk in 10th. And we've had 3 dropouts, so they did not finishes. Now, we haven't really got any battles going on at the moment because the fuel's relatively spread out. Just watching Ando go around for a bit. Oh, a little bit slidey there. Hear the tyres screeching. It's a nice drive out of that bank turn. A little lift through there, gets back on the power. Gets a nice run down into this final chicane. So he's down by 1.3 seconds on his time, but he's still lapping faster than what he would be if he was on the hard compound, even with that amount of wear on his tyres. So Adam is pulling the gap in a bit. It's come down by about a second or so within that last lap or two. So we're just over the 2/3 mark as Lordy pulls into the pits. I love the animation of the tyre change and the fuel going in, and it's a pity we don't get to see one for when you've got the damage set to heavy and it has to be repaired in pits. You see a guy sort of slide in underneath the car. That'd be pretty cool. See the bonnet go up and a couple of, or wherever the engine is located, see that go up, and so I think Lordy has done 2 stops in a row, so I reckon he might have just ran his hard tyres then, so we'll have to go back and check the replay post race. So that gap is coming down between Ando and Adam. It's down to 19.5 seconds now, so it's another half second. He's another half second closer. So Darth Berserk is a lap down, Aussie is a lap down, Slappers is a lap down, Rugworth is a lap down, Ryoff is a lap down, and Clan is a lap down. So your top 4 are still on the lead lap. Oh, as Lordy spins it around, fortunately he gets the car facing forward. See what happened there. So as he comes around, he just kisses the dirt. He just launched the car a little bit, and it was all over. But he was able to get the car facing forward. So yeah, hopefully he didn't lose too much time there. But he's dropped a few seconds to Clan. As you can see by his first sector split, he's down by 3 seconds already. And with a new set of tyres on, that's going to hurt their wear a bit. But you'll just have to push on and see where he ends up. Oh no, never mind, we're all still on the lead lap, except for Aussie and Darth. So yeah, Aussie just let Ando through then, pulled off to the side because he would have been shown the blue flag, which signifies that there's a faster driver coming through. So we have the rule, like every series or every league is different with their blue flag rule. Some leagues require you to move over straight away, let the faster driver through. Some don't. Our ruling is that it is always up to the faster driver to make their way through, as it is with any other normal racing situation. But if it is safe to do so, it's good sportsmanship for the slower driver to allow them past. So if you're on a straight section of track and a faster driver comes up behind you and you're being shown the blue flag, just lift off a little bit, move over, let them through. But if you're going through a real technical section, like if you're going over the top of Bathurst or whatever, or through the death chicane at Dragon Trail, then the faster driver just has to wait. You know, they're not allowed to force their way through, they're not allowed to hit you out of the way, they're not allowed to shove their car up alongside you. It's pretty much just basic standard overtaking rules that apply. So I think Ando's coming up behind Slappers now. Yep, you can see that give way to faster car. And the thing with GT Sport too, like you can be getting that message showing up, give way to faster cars. You look in your mirror and you can't even see them. They're still that far behind. It seems to give you the flag really early. So that's why we say it's always up to the faster car to find their way through. So I think he's just moved over there. Yep, allowed Ando through. That was a good spot to do it. Just pull up high on the bank. So that gap's come down quite significantly between Ando and Adam. So I reckon Ando might be in this lap. Which will allow Adam to go past. And I reckon this will be close to Ando's last pit stop. So Adam goes through. Ando is released. Oops. So now it's Ando's turn to be the hunter. Fresh tyres, full tank of gas. And yeah, I reckon this might see Ando to the end. Whereas Adam is going to have to pit again, as well as run the hard tyre, so he owes potentially 2 stops. He just kisses the grass there and it just causes the car to slide. So when Ando comes through here, you'll see that gap shoot down. There it goes. He's made up nearly half a second just with that little kiss of the grass that Adam had. Cost him nearly half a second. Little bit of contact there between them. As Darth pulls over to allow Adam through. Clan Fever pulls into the pits. I reckon this will be his last stop as well. Rugworth's in, running on fumes. No, maybe Clan's going to make one more stop. He's got half a tank of fuel. It can feel like an absolute eternity when you're sitting there waiting for your car to go while it's being filled. You sit there. Slappers was on the medium tyre for some reason. Must just be part of his strategy. I reckon he'll be filling up to the end. As I think it's Old Timer making his way past Slappers. As Old Timer gets the job done. Work on catching up to Ando. So that gap's now just down to under 10 seconds between Ando and Adam. And you can see Adam just off in the distance there slightly. So gap's coming down to just under 8 seconds now, or just under 9 seconds, sorry. And might be starting to push a little bit to try and catch up. Yep, so Adam's going to have to pit possibly this lap. Oops, sorry, as we see Darth pull into the pits. So Old Timer pull into the pits as well. Good old Jim Beam and Jack Daniels cars between Darth and Old Timer. So we're now just under 8 seconds. See those sparks fly. I really wish we could get some of the camera views like they have at the World Tour events, where you can have the camera that's right next to the tyre, and I love that view when you see the car bouncing up and down and you can see just how hard those tyres actually work. You see them just turning slightly as the steering wheel turns, and it's such a cool view. Down to 7.5 seconds between Adam and Ando. So Adam's into the pits. So now Adam has 10 laps to make up 14.5 seconds. Aussie's still being shown the blue flag. I wonder if he'll pull over here and let Adam through. It's still not... the gap's still probably a little bit too big to do that. I reckon Adam will get a run on him up here. Where am I? Aussie. Oh, I've got to go all the way up here, don't I? Adam. So yeah, this is going to hurt Adam being behind. Aussie being on that fresher tyre and not being able to get past. So we'll see if he'll make a move into the bank turn here. Yep, gets the move done. Aussie goes up high to allow him through. That gap, 14.5 odd seconds. So now we'll see what will happen. As to whether Adam can bridge that gap or not. So we have Ando, we have Adam, we have Old Timer, we have Lordy, we have Clan Fever, we have Ryoff 217, we have Rugworth, we have Aussie, we have Slappers Mate, and we have Darth Berserk. And that is your order at the moment. So Lordy's into the pits for what will probably slightly be his last stop. So, will Clan be able to get past him? Is he going to be stopped long enough in the pits? Probably not, I don't think. The gap's now just down to 3.5 seconds between these two, so Clan might be able to get a bit of a run on him, but Lordy does have fresher tyres, but he's got a heavier fuel load. So it's sort of going to be 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So we're still around that 14.5 seconds mark. Zando crosses the line for another 52. He's being very consistent with his lap times here. He's only just off fastest lap pace. His best lap so far has been a 151.587, whereas the fastest lap is a 151.437. So what's that? He's only like 0.15 off fastest lap, so he's definitely got the pace there, but with his tyres sort of wearing at every lap, I don't think he's going to be able to get the fastest lap now. I think now he'll just be focusing on still just being consistent, setting good lap times, not making any mistakes, just looking after those tyres, getting them to the finish line. You see Lordy maybe ran just a fraction wide there. So we see Aussie into the pits. I wonder if he's putting the hards on. If he hasn't run them already. Nope, sticking with the softs. So that's allowed Slapper to catch up to him. So whether that was a tactical move or what, I'm not sure. Whether these two guys want to finish the race together. See Ando coming into the final chicane there. He's still holding pace against Adam. Hear the helicopter flying overhead. Pretty cool sound. Oh, Adam gets nice and slidey. It's going to open the gap up a bit. I imagine the fatigue might be starting to set in a bit with these guys. They've been at it for an hour, nearly an hour and 45 minutes. So the concentration levels are probably starting to wane a bit. This is where you've got to really knuckle down and keep your focus and keep your rhythm going. Which is a lot easier than it sounds, which is a lot harder to do than it sounds. Because all it takes is one little moment, lapse in concentration. You just glance at something else on the screen for a split second and all of a sudden you've missed your brake point, or you haven't quite turned the car where you wanted it to go, and it really upsets you. It can really upset your rhythm. So we see Clan pull into the pits. Takes a short burst of fuel. So he's now going to have Rye off on the back of him. So I think Slappers and Aussie are just playing with each other at the moment. As Aussie goes deep on the brakes. Slappers has got a lot more wear on his tyres. So we've got 4 odd laps to go. So that should take us to around the bit over the 1 hour 50 mark, which is what we predicted it would be when we planned this. Sort of around that 2 hour mark. It's a very long time to be sitting there going around and around. I remember back in the days, the earlier GT games where they used to have like, 6, 8, 9 hour races. I think there was even a couple of 24-hour races. You'd play it for a few hours, pause it, go and, do something else, come back the next day, run for a few more hours. Take you nearly a week to get all 24 hours done. And then they had that one with the B-spec mode where you had a co-driver, an AI co-driver. You'd run off, do a few laps, put the co-driver in, let him go overnight. Just let it do its thing and then come back and hope that he hasn't done anything stupid. Yeah, I hope GT7 has something like that. I'm really looking forward to when that comes out. So we'll just have to wait and see. So we're on lap 57. We've got a 15-second gap between Ando and Adam. Got another 29 seconds back to Old Timer. 24 seconds back to Lordy. 24 seconds back to Clan. So Lordy's sort of not really in no man's land. Got 3 seconds back to Ryoff. 10 seconds back to Rugworth. 56 seconds back to Slapper. 0.2 of a second back to Aussie, and then 2.3 seconds back to Darth. So as long as Ando keeps his head down and doesn't make a mistake, this is going to be an Ando victory, because I really don't see Adam making up 15 seconds in 3 laps. Well, someone spun it around. Who was that? Slappers. Let's see what happened there. So he's come round. Missed that somehow. Not sure how we missed that, but anyway. So that's allowed Darth Berserk to move up into 8th spot. So we'll see whether Aussie can hunt him down and get past him. Must be raining on the track there somewhere, because Aussie's got his windscreen wiper on. We were having this discussion last night in his bragging rights night, or Slapper's bragging rights night, I should say. Noticed there was a couple of races there where he had his windscreen wiper on, so figured it must give him an advantage somehow, maybe more grip or more horsepower, so we're having a good laugh about that. Thought a move was about to be made. Oh, here he goes, makes a move. Does he get it? Does he pull it off? Yes, he does. Can Darth have a response to him? He's got more tyre wear though, and the same amount of fuel, so maybe not, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. His Darth gets a good run out of that turn, because he just ran fairly wide around there, which cost him a fair chunk of time. Now Darth to catch back up. Darth has a big moment there, but he's able to Able to keep the car pointing forward, but he's now well out of Aussie's draft. The Slappers is ghosted. Must have the game on pause for whatever reason. We're still at that 15-second gap. So they've got the same amount of fuel. Ando's got more wear on his tyres. As Ando crosses the line here, was for the start of the final lap. With a 15-second lead over Adam. So Adam's into the pits. I reckon he'll be putting the hard tyre on now. Yep. As he gets a little bit twitchy. Cold hard tyres are one of the pretty much the worst tyre that you can drive on. They are so slippery, and it takes them so long to come up to temperature. So Old Timer's into the pits as well. Wonder whether he'll be doing the same. Yep. Darth Berserker's being shown the blue flag. For... who was that? Lordy. Lordy makes his way through. As Ando comes down to the final chicane for the last time. And there we go, as Ando is your winner. A big well done to Ando. We've got ASR Adam in second place. Goes probably a little bit deep on the brakes there. Has a big slide. Not that it really matters. And to be smart, he finishes in the pits. We've got Old Timer in third. As Old Timer rounds out the podium, taking the bronze. Aussies across the line as well. Slapper seems to have just pitted his car, so he's going to be right before the finish line. So we've got Clan Fever coming up in 5th place. So a big well done to Clan. Here comes Ryoff to cross the line in 6th. And here comes Rugworth across the line in 7th. And then you got Slappers who's in the pits. So I'll have to wait for that timer on the right of screen there to count down. So a big well done to all our drivers. You know, that was a massive race. 60 laps around this circuit is not easy. Hell, I think even doing 6 laps around here is not easy. To do it in a mid-engine car, these guys would have had to have put in a lot of practice for this, because mid-engine cars just drive so differently to FR cars. The centre of balance, or this, yeah, the centre of balance is in a completely different spot. So there you have it. Big shout out to Ando. Well done for your, for winning. Great effort. So we see the little glitching that happens when you finish a race. And a big shout out again to Clan Fever for being our lobby host for today, for stepping up and accepting that role, and for running it as well and as smoothly as he did. We're really thankful for him for doing that. So that concludes our 60 laps around Alsace. Lost my cursor there for a sec. Race results. Yep, so Adam had the fastest lap with a 151.4. Have Ando in first, Adam, Old Timer, Lordy, Clan Fever, Ryoff, Rugworth, Aussie, Darth and Slappers. I'll save that replay. Save the results. Alright, well that concludes racing for today. We hope that if you're going to be doing the Nations Cup tonight, best of luck for that. Keep an eye on our Gridline Racing page for further events. We also have a Discord now. There's a couple of links there on the page that you can click on, so come and join our Discord. Get involved with that, and we will see you next time for our next event, which I don't know what it will be yet because we haven't planned anything, but when we do, it'll be on the Discord and on the page. So until next time, race hard, race fair, and if you see any of us in your lobby, feel free to say hi.